Hello, hello, howdy. I know I'm a couple minutes late here, but we're gonna get started. Someone's here. Says there's a viewer. It was there before I clicked in on my laptop. So, say hello if you are here. Now says we have 3 people, so if one of them's me, we should have 2. So I've got a slight little problem here, which is that I'm missing a piece I need for my desoldering pump. I need the little tip piece, and I put it somewhere, and that somewhere is what I'm trying to find right now. So that's fun. We're kind of going to need that for what we need to do. I took it off a while ago because the pump was jammed, so it was clogged, and I fixed the clog. But I need the little thingy. We won't get far without the thingy. Now it's probably on my shelf here somewhere. The problem is there's a little bit of everything on the shelf here, so I just gotta have a quick look around. Someone's here, let me... Luke, we got Luke. Hello, Luke. I'm looking for a piece of my desoldering pump that I misplaced. And I kind of need it. It's a little bit important. Gotta be on this table. I wouldn't have just thrown it somewhere random, right? That would have been stupid if I did that. The problem is it's a small metal piece, and there are a lot of small metal parts lying just out of view here. Yeah, we got the new year coming soon. I don't know, what time is it in the UK right now? Oh, goodness. Where did I put this little thingy? I can't have lost it. That would be the stupidest thing. That would be a stream-ending disaster. Like, genuinely. There's no way I'm going to be able to recap this thing without this little bit. They've kind of gone far. Big Bad Bench is here. Oh, you gave me a 24-hour time. That's 3 hours away. That's 21 minus 12 is it 9 o'clock? Yeah, that sounds right. 9 o'clock. Oh my goodness. So let's take a break. I gotta entertain you guys for at least a minute here. Here's what we're doing today. This is the motherboard from an NEC Ultralight SL25C, and that's a pretty special laptop because it is the first notebook computer made with an active matrix color screen. It released in January 1992, and note I said notebook computer, as in notebook size. The first portable with that type of screen was the Toshiba T2150CDT, released like a year and a half earlier, but that was a big luggable. This is the first notebook. And what's interesting is NEC made the screen for this in-house. That's how they got it out a few months before anyone else did. And as far as I know, it was only used in this laptop and I don't know, maybe industrial applications. But I have no photos of this screen or this computer running. No one has posted a photo of this machine working. The only stuff I have are photos from old magazines. And that's really interesting because it has a place in history. And it's not that rare. I've seen a few on eBay. The issue, I think, well, one, it uses a mini-DIN power adapter, and I don't have that, but I should be able to just power it off the battery terminals. But the real issue is all these caps. We have this lovely assortment here. The purple ones are polymer, they're fine, but these green Nichicon caps have leaked, and then of course we have the surface mounts, and they've leaked. And these two look okay, but we're replacing them too. But NEC's engineers, I don't know what they were on when they designed this thing, but there's no way they were sober, because this is a separate DC power board. It's a separate board, and a lot of laptops did that, and others just integrated it right under the motherboard. Like, here's a Toshiba motherboard that I'm also recapping. It's just integrated. That's fine, I can replace these caps easily. NEC put it on a daughter card, which is fine, a lot of people did that. But this is soldered to the motherboard. They soldered it down. There's two pin headers here and here, and it's not removable. So I can't access the solder points for the through-hole caps, which, why? What if you had to repair one of these in the field? Would you really swap the whole motherboard out? So I have to desolder this whole daughter card, and if I just had to do the caps, I could get by without my vacuum pump. But I gotta get those pin headers, so we need that. So without any further ado, I'm gonna continue looking for the dang piece that I'm missing, and hopefully we'll find it. If not, we might have to change plans and recap the Toshiba. I was gonna use this on the Toshiba, but if I'm only dealing with 2 pins on each cap, I should be able to get by with just an iron. But yeah, we need this part. So I'm gonna resume my search, and hopefully it'll turn up something pretty fast here. Yeah, pretty stupid design. No wonder no one's bothered getting one of these running. And the fun doesn't end there. They ship with Quantum Go drives, the floppy drives from Citizen, so belt. It's possible it could have fallen behind here, but I don't have a flashlight. Where's the last time I saw it? It was like I think it was on my bench. But that's just my soldering iron tips. It's not under here, it's not in the drawers. Let's look on the floor. Ow. Back here. Something back here. No, I see. Not that. I was trying to unclog it over on my other table. I don't think it was over here. Signs are getting foiled. It's not turning up. I think there's a site for the Newton you can look through all the software. Someone's made a directory of all that. I think I might have to rename the stream and turn to the Toshiba, which that'll be a fun stream too. Extra fun for me with not getting to use the desoldering pump, but at least it'll be doable. Just a little cone-shaped metal tip. And we definitely need it. This hole is way too wide. But I think it's gonna elude us. Man. I need to find that. Or I just need to order a new set, because I need the other sizes anyway. So I'll probably do that today after the stream. Okay, we're gonna rename the stream. Do I remember where I used it last? Okay, yeah, good question. So it's been a couple years since I actually used this. And then the last time I would have seen it was probably several months to a year ago, because I knew it was clogged and I was trying to get it unclogged. And I took it off. And I remember I made sure that the actual tip was unclogged. And then I set it down somewhere. And now we're here. So that's the situation. I mean, I would have set it down either somewhere on this bench or over at my other table that way where I record my videos. Because I do remember when I was trying to unclog it a few months ago, wasn't that long ago, I had it over there, but I might have already taken the tip off, might have already been removed. Thing is, it could have fallen on the floor and it could be hiding behind something, one of these tables, or even worse, it could have fallen in, you could see it just in the corner, the cable bin. And if it happened to fall in the cable bin, that would be fun. But yeah, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for me to find a stupid cap. I'm going to go and rename the stream, and we're going to recap the Toshiba. Okay. All right. You evade getting recapped another day. I've had that thing since 2024 swap meet. No, 2023 swap meet? No, I don't remember which one. Well, anyway, new plan. This is my Toshiba Satellite Pro T2150 CDT. I just got this a couple months ago. It works, but if you look closely here, notice these caps have this vent. These are ELNA capacitors, ELNA RCX. They don't say long life on them like the older ones. At least I don't think they do. But I don't trust these, no matter what their age are, because stuff just a year or 2 years older than this is leaking. So this has got to get changed. So I have all the caps in stock for this. I was going to do another stream tomorrow working on this. If I end up finding that cap for my soldering iron, then I will do that other stream tomorrow. But yeah, these aren't showing any signs of leaking. We're doing preventative maintenance here. What is going to be showing signs of leaking, I'm sure, is the cap on the inverter board. That's causing the high-pitched whine. It's a common issue on the Toshiba inverter boards from this time. A bunch of models use the same one. They'll have a coil whine. It's caused by a bad cap, so... Okay, I think... Is this going to be the right sized tip on my iron for this job? I might need something a little smaller. Devices of... You mean you have devices that were released this year, or is it stuff you got this year? There we go, that's the right sized iron tip, I think. Still like looking behind things, thinking I'm gonna just lay my eyes on that iron tip, because that's gonna be the more fun repair if we can actually get it running, because no one's done that. No one's put photos of it online, at least. But we'll get to it. Okay, iron is heating up. I gotta figure out where to route this cable. Stuff that made my year important. Right. Alienware M9750. Let's do a little Google for that. Oh, you're lucky. You're very lucky. Wait, that isn't a D900. That's something else, I think. I think that's pre-Dell. What Clevo model is this? Do you know what Clevo model is that? That is? I don't immediately recognize it. Yeah, I'm finally gonna get to play around with a Newton. I found a $50 eMate 300 on eBay, and I snatched it up. So, that'll be fun. Okay, just sanity check. It's not sitting here. No. Goodness, where did it go? Where did it go? Down here, let's see. Does it not say the chassis on the bottom label anywhere? They usually do. Guess they could have gotten a fully custom thing done. But that's still pre-Dell, right? I think it is. Okay, fan is going on. And let me grab my bag of caps. There's a lot of stuff in here. That's a big order. M9700i R1. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is going to be an adventure in its own. I need to figure out which caps in here are the right ones. I was worried making the list that I wouldn't be able to find low profile caps, but I did, so... I also made a cap reference photo. It's already up on MacDat, so we can just go right there. And I'm just gonna start with these four. They're all the same. They're all 1500 microfarad, 6.3 volts. So let's see if I can pick them out. Should be four of them, and they're fairly large. There's the 1000 at, do we need these? These might be for something else. 82. 220 at 10. We're gonna need these aluminum radial poly, no value printed. There's two of them. What do we need two of from here? I guess those could be the 470s at 25, I don't know. 100 at 25. That's not for this. 220 at 6.3. That's not for this. Here we go. Quantity 4. These are probably the 1500 microfarads. Let me see if I can find my... I think this is the 470 at 25, but there should be two of these, not one. I could have ordered one of my other laptops could have used those as well. Are any of these, did I go past them? This quantity 2, these could be the 470 at 25. Okay, let's take these out. So these are polymer caps, which should work fine. They're definitely low enough profile. 152006. Yeah, I think that's the right. Definitely. Let's see if I can desolder one of these. I'll just start with this one. Let me go back to the chat. I don't think we have anything new. Ooh, I don't like that this is right next to this plastic piece. Oh, that melts quick. That's good. Excellent. Are they leaking? That is the big question. Hard to say. I mean, I didn't smell anything. That's always a tell. And it looks clean underneath. I'll bet these caps are still good. That's the thing. But it's better to just deal with them now before they create a mess, you know? Let's get our second one. Oh boy, this one's not melting as easily. I need to get leverage on it because we're not using the pump, the vacuum pump. Oh, there we go. Might need a bit of flux here. I got one of the terminals free. Got the negative free. Usually the positive comes free first, but or at least the negative would be the one on the ground plane. So that was a bit more flux than I wanted, but that's fine. I made a slight error with my setup. My stone is running XP Service Pack 1. Uh-oh. Just, you got a few hours left. You can run the updater. Oh, I made an error. I put the flux on the wrong pad. That's funny. Let's use desoldering strategy number 2. Let's add a little bit of fresh solder. Yeah, there we go. Second cap out. This is going pretty quick. I like that. Is this one leaking? Ooh, maybe. This one might have been... It's always hard to tell what's dried flux. Let me see if I can get this in focus. The YouTube camera doesn't like to focus. Go on. I guess that's the closest we can get. You'll see there's some brown gunk. It's always hard to tell. People look at that and say, oh, they're leaking, but often it's just dried flux. I mean, the board looks fine, I think. There's certainly no corrosion, but... Alright, now I do see on this next one there's some thermal gloop. Or not thermal gloop, just gloop. That's holding it in place. I'll bet I can just use my razor knife to break through that. Yeah. Here we go. I need to keep it on Service Pack 1 for my deep dive into the blaster worm. Could you just run a virtual machine for that? Or do you just want to do it on actual hardware? Which, fair enough. Doesn't Supermium support lower service packs though? I thought they were eventually targeting Windows 2000 support. I thought anyway. Could be wrong. I think we might actually want to get the cap that's further back out first, since that'll give us more leverage to rock this cap back and forth. Didn't really work as networking. Oh, you're going to infect it over the network? I get it. Nearly there. There we go. This is going quick. I like it. I like it. It'd be nice to have all this thing reassembled and no longer on my floor. Okay. Last of the 1500 microfarad caps. Melt that flux. There we go. Fresh solder needed. Tell me guys, is this in frame properly? I know I have it slightly hovered off my workbench. I'll get up and look in a second. I just want to make sure you can see the action. Let me see. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. It's just in the corner a little bit. Okay. That out. Alright, this looks good. Just in case, I'm gonna give it an IPA scrub. %sure that a little bit of crust was dried flux, but you can never be too sure, so change that out. Okay. Should I take this guy out while we're here? I think we should. And look at how clean this board is right now. In 10 years' time, assuming these Elna caps all burst their guts, these are going to end up looking just like a T1000XE, T1200XE, T1600, all those early 90s models that are just destroyed. So if you want to do the recapping, even though this board was working flawlessly, you want to do the recapping while it still looks like this. Like, I get there's people out there who are like, don't recap, the caps still work, leave it alone. But preventative maintenance like this doesn't hurt, and it can only really help, so you should do it if you are able. See if any of these caps are leaking, because they're all from different vendors. This one is a Marcon, which they don't exist anymore, but I think they were owned by Toshiba. This one looks fine. This is a little 220 microfarad at 10 volts. Yeah, I think that's just isopropyl alcohol. I don't think that's electrolyte. Then we have, this is a Marcon, these two are Elna, and then this one's Nippon Chemicon. These are known bad, at least the older ones. This is from 1995, it's right on the edge, but Nippon Chemicon, they have this Mercedes symbol looking three-pointed vent shape. If you see these, you do want to get them changed out. And I've seen them fail and stuff this new. I have a PowerBook 5300 190 power supply with weak caps, and they are this vendor. These are SXE series. I forget, I think those are on the known bad list, at least for stuff a little older than this, but yeah. Welcome, Coffee Mug Man. You forgot about me. Well, good thing you remembered. Okay, let's do the 220 10 volt first. I have, these are Worth caps, right? Yeah. I got a whole assortment of brands of caps for these. Just whatever fit the dimensions the best. So, 220 at 10. Our positive is helpfully labeled by Toshiba. Very nice. Let's take one of these off. And let's compare dimensions with the original. It's about the same diameter, and it's actually slightly shorter than the original cap. So, excellent replacements. Now the real fun part, because I don't have these holes clear, because I couldn't find the part of my desoldering pump, we were going to just have to sort of hold the leads sideways in place and then melt from the bottom, which means I'm going to have to perch this board sort of sideways, which is fun. Love it when I have to do this. It's always an adventure. Let's get the iron out. This is very jank, but it works. It's easier when I get one side in, which I didn't. Come on. Nope. You know what? I might just be overthinking this. I'll bet I can just start the process from the upper side. Yep. There we go. What's the hold up here? The positive doesn't want to go in. There we go. We're getting it. We're getting there. There we go. Eventually we can sort of just sit it in place. Alright, and let me add myself clicked off the chat. Stuff this new hits different when you're... Yeah! Let me get my pliers, one sec. Oh, come on, don't tell me I lost those too. Where on earth? I was just using them. Not sure where those went, but I can just use tweezers for this. Coffee Mug Man, I'm 18. All I'm doing here is bending the leads out a bit to sort of hold this cap in place while we solder it in from the bottom. CFU1. How old is that? I don't know my tough books well. (2007) Oh, come on, that's got to be able to run a web browser. Unlike Chameleon. And I got flux on my hand. Non-XP with an atom. Oh god. I think you can still get by with 2 gigs of RAM if you're loading like 1 tab at a time, but yeah, it's rough. Alright, is this cap in place? Do we have any wiggly legs? No, that's fine. I do have to make sure that my soldering is low profile enough that this doesn't overlap. It should be fine. There are passives and things here. Let me put a bit of flux down just so I can get a cleaner solder joint. This is something I really care a lot about, so I want to make sure my work here is top notch. Yeah, there we go. I think I can clip those a little bit closer now. Yeah, I think that's as good as we're getting. Here you can inspect my work. Not bad. Now let's get the 1500s. The big ones. Thank you, Luke. Not quite as tidy as factory, but it'll do well, I think. So we are changing chemistries here. These are not electrolytic caps, they're polymer, which means they shouldn't leak. But I usually don't switch out chemistries for stuff high in value like this. But the ESR, I'm not an expert in picking replacement components for things, but I assume these are low ESR caps, probably. I think they are. That's what Toshiba like to use. And when I was comparing the ESR of these on Mauser's website with some other low ESR electrolytic caps, these were lower, so they should work out nicely. I'm gonna install these in the same order that I took the old ones out, or the reverse order, so we're gonna start with this middle one. And I'm gonna do the same strategy as last time to get it started. And sneak in here with my iron. Oops, grazed the new cap. We don't want to do that. Always helps when my fan is making my eyes water while I'm doing this. There we go. And it's this one. Just inch it down. Until we hit the board. One more inch. There we go. Same as last time, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of flux here. Add a little bit of fresh solder. And that ought to work well. I don't know anything about Newton power saving features yet. I will soon. Okay, one down. Let's do this one next. I think one of the holes on this one might be clear. Can I see through the board? Yes, I can. This one I might just be able to stick in on one side. Ooh. That is a tight fit. I think I have to inch it a little more. This is a little crooked. Let's compare dimensions to our original. Diameter is the same. Height slightly shorter on the new ones. So, I mean, the originals were pretty tight in there too. I think it's because I have to lean it in order to fit it in. If I bend out the legs a little bit, I think that'll do. The problem though is I need to make sure the other one is aligned. Let me see if I can just sneak in here with my iron. Yes, I can. There we go. Very, very nice. We are in. Bending the legs together. It's okay. Great. Computer went to sleep. Another one down. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'll go do that as soon as I'm off stream. Of course. Oh, yeah. Definitely not. Okay. That was just my mother. I have to go shovel some snow after I'm done streaming. Next capacitor. Sneak it in. Bullseye. Somehow got like some stray solder on the board. I think it's fine. Yeah. And that one is here. Is this the one that didn't want to melt? Indeed, it was. Let me get some more flux on there. This is where the ground plane is, I assume. This side really does not want to budge. Come on. There we go. This takes a little more heat. I think, oh no, we can go a little more. Cut the leads. And solder down. I should have my light on for this on my microscope. That'll help me. Also help me to see what I'm doing, actually, now that I think of it. We're right there. Okay. Actually can't see very well. I think that is good. All right. One more of these. Ooh, this might have the cap sort of leaned into where this other one needs to go. Maybe I can fit it in. Yeah, I think we're good. These are very tight. There we go. Last one is in place. Let's finish it off. And then we're like 30-40% done with this, with just the motherboard. We have the sound card and the inverter. We're getting every flavor of soldering today. We have surface mount. Those with a keen eye will have spotted the few imposter tantalums. I'll probably be on for another hour maybe. I'm having some friends over at like 6 or 7 p.m. maybe. And I gotta have time to shovel the snow before that, and it's 5 right now, so I should actually check my phone to make sure I haven't gotten any messages. Nope. So 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Okay. That is done. Very nice. So we have 5 in, 4 more here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 6. 6. Oh man, those will be quicker though. These through holes take forever. Alright, let's get this next one out. This is another 220 microfarad. Okay. Flux needed. This one's sort of wedged in place. I need to get good leverage off of it. There we go. Not really budging. Gotcha. So is this side just not melting? Is that the issue? There we go. Got it. Freed. Okay, this one next. Definitely need some flux. Be free. And last, we have the Nippon Chemicon capacitor. For which we definitely need flux. Feel like a broken record. Although that's saying, right? Do records really break in a way where they just repeat the same thing over and over again? Is that a thing? I assume so, but I'm not sure how that failure mode would happen. Careful. Come on. That's melting. It's just stuck on something. Maybe a bit of fresh solder will help. Records can skip, which would guide the needle in a way to repeat. I mean, yeah, I get skipping, but how could it repeat the same section? Like, that would imply it's just jumping around at the same point in the groove somehow, but if the table is still spinning, shouldn't it just keep going? I don't know, I'm not exactly a expert in that field. Finally, Chemicon cap is out. All right. Or would it skip back to a previous track in the record? I guess then it wouldn't be repeating the same word, it would be repeating a whole segment of the song, because that I could see happening. Correct. Yeah, that makes sense. I think we should start with the Chemicon cap, which is the one I don't think I grabbed out of my bag. 220 at 16 volts. Yeah. Let's find it. Well, here's some 220 at 16, but there's 4 of them, so these are must have been for one of the other laptops. 1000 at 6.3. $220. No. 10 at 35. Surface mount, surface mount, surface mount. Surface mount. Surface mount. Lots of surface mount. 100 at 6.3. What did I need 10 of these for? Oh, I ordered this 2 days ago and I already can't remember. It's gonna be the last one I pull out. What is this big thing? This whole enormous bag for 247 microfarad, 16 volt tantalums. That's funny. Okay, where is this? 226.3. I guess it must be the 4. I must have ordered 3 and then 1, and they just packed them together. Definitely the correct dimensions. Much smaller than the original. Let's just make sure. Yep, 220/16. 220/16. All right. Same trick as before. I'm just gonna get it started. And then we'll bring it through little by little. that's as far as we're gonna get that. No, we gotta get it in a little more. Should be good. It's gonna sit a little higher than the original, I think, just due to the way the leg spacing is, but it should be low enough that it doesn't create an issue. Installed. Now we need the 47825, which should be these two. Yep. I think we want to install this one first. Yeah. That would make the most sense. Okay, that's flush. Hey Steve, welcome. I will make sure I'll put all the old caps in a bag and I'll bring them to the next swap meet. They can be yours for the low, low price of, I'll figure out that part later. Got more flux on my hand. Let's see. Definitely flush. I need to tune into one of your streams again. It's been too long. I've just been so busy. I haven't been watching any streams, really. I should. I'm sure I'm missing out on some cool stuff. Yeah, UK time. I think Steve usually streams around like 8 p.m. my time, I think. Usually. really close together again, but I just... Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That went halfway in just like that. There it is. Flush just like that. Awesome. One of the holes came clear when I was removing the old cap, so... what's the best angle? I think we gotta go over here. This was also the one that didn't want to melt, so I think we're going to need more flux. That ought to be good. Twice in the last 2 months, yeah. Big old blob there. I think if I just trim the leads. I still have to, another thing I have to figure out still is how to get my microscope camera hooked up straight to the stream. The problem there is that I stream on my phone because I don't have a good camera to hook up to my computer. And I need to stream from a PC to hook up my microscope. And I can't do both at the same time. And I don't want just a microscope cam. So that's a technical challenge I'll have to figure out. That's still a bad solder joint. This one's giving me the most trouble out of any of the caps here. Come on, give me a decent solder joint over here. Nah. That one's manageable. Not great, but should be okay. But I don't like that this one's higher up than the others. Inspect it up close. Come on, maybe just a little more flux. A little more flux. What Alienware thing are you working on? I almost ended up with an M18 from like Sandy Bridge era. A friend had it pop up on their local marketplace for $50 working. They didn't want it. But by the time I told them, hey, I'll pay you double that if you pick it up for me, the listing was already gone. So someone snatched that up. Okay, that solder joint's slightly better. It'll be decent enough. Last of the through-hole caps is the other 220 10 volt, which, what did I do with it? It's over here. Okay. M17X R4, screen, battery, and a bottom case piece. That seems like it's not quite enough to build a functional machine. What's your plan there? What time is it? 5:24. Let me check my messages again. Nothing new. I'm probably not gonna have time to test this out on stream because I think it's gonna take me until 6 at least to finish the recap. But I will update in a community post with the results, so you'll know what happens. And of course I'll also keep Luke and anyone else who's in the Discord updated, like I always do. I've talked up the cost of the parts, 27 components. Yeah, my main worry there would just be, can you even find the parts? Not what they cost. Because, well, wait, how old is the R4? Is that from, like, I honestly have no idea. I guess it'd be mid-2010s. I guess if it's a new-ish Dell, parts people might have a lot of it, but they're in the US. So that shipping's not going to be cheap. 2012, 13, okay. I mean, if you can find the parts and it works out to be cost-effective, go for it. Alright, we're done with the through holes. There's a lot of flux to clean off, but I'll worry about that when we're all done. There we go. Pretty good looking work, I think. The next step is going to be dealing with the imposter tantalums. And I guess we'll start with the little 33 at 6. And what I have to remember here is because these are these low profile electrolytics, the only thing you can really replace them with that fits are MLCC caps or tantalum. I went with tantalum, but what you have to watch out for if you're replacing electrolytics with tantalum caps is tantalum cap voltage ratings work a little differently from electrolytics. They will essentially, their rated voltage, you don't want them running under that actual voltage load. So if it's a 16 volt cap and that power rail it's on is up at 12 or 16 volts, even like 12 volts I think can be a problem. It can reduce the long-term lifespan of that tantalum cap. So if you're replacing a bad tantalum with another tantalum, you can assume the engineers knew what they were doing and just replaced with the same value. But if you're doing what I'm doing and replacing electrolytic with tantalum, you do want to watch out for that. So every one of these caps on this board is a 6 volt rated cap, and because I didn't want to go and try to rig up a test jig to measure how much voltage is being put through all these caps, I just decided we're going to replace everything with 16 volt rated caps. So that should be enough. And yeah, Steve, I mean, it'll work if you don't do that, and it's fine. It just, especially for something that's not going to be used very often, it should be fine. But best practice would be to, I think they call it derating, to account for that. Okay, so here are my 10 at 16, which will be for here and here. So we'll just get that ready. I first heard about this with Macs. I think the Mac Classic has some cases where you, if I remember correctly, that is. I think the Classic and maybe the SC30 have cases where you want to do that. I think I have the right models noted on my website. I think there's a thread about it somewhere on 68K MLA. Howard, is the weather bad where you are? We got a lot of snow here, but power should be fine. Oh, just bad power grid. I see. So the way I go about removing these guys is just to heat up each leg and then pull up. Like that. Oh, and that little crackling sound you heard, they usually glue these down, so that was just the glue breaking. But there we go. And even though this board is labeled with a plus, if you have a board that isn't, I don't know if that's going to show up. Probably not. But the little dot indicates the negative leg on these caps. So now the good news, at least for this cap, the replacement I got is small enough that it's going to fit pretty easily here on the pads. That's not always the case. And that's the wonder of modern electrical components. Just how small everything's gotten. And that's why none of these caps are made anymore. These low-profile electrolytics, they're just not needed. I don't think I've ever seen them in anything newer than late 90s. So they were already falling out of fashion by the turn of the millennium. And of course, I'm sure you all know this, but always good to remember, tantalum caps, the stripe indicates positive. Because consistency would be too easy. But that definitely is not something you want to forget. There we go. Made that mistake with my classic too. Yep. Thankfully I haven't done that, but not at all surprised that that happens, because why would they do that? Why would they do that? At least it's always a standard that that's the case for tantalums. Now since I found the... where'd I put them? Yeah, since I found my 10 at 16s, let's just do those next. It's still broken? Oh, like fried stuff? Yeah, that sucks. Although with those, you also always need to do the power supply and analog board. You put Nichicon low ESR caps that leak all over. Hardest part of removing these is just breaking that glue, but I think the heat from the soldering iron helps with that. I think you can also just do the twist method to get these off, but I don't really need to here. This is easier. But Mac84, Steve, you might need to avert your eyes when we do the audio board for this, because that's all regular surface mount electrolytics, and there will be some pliers in action. If I can find my pliers, that is. They're under something somewhere, I'm sure. Oh no, you also blew up some tantalums once. It's easy enough to just blow up some electrolytics by not looking close enough and soldering them backwards. Everyone's done that at some point. As long as you aren't twisting my caps off, then it's fine. Don't worry, I have no plans of breaking into your basement to twist caps off your motherboards. Okay. I put a good tantalum on a PowerBook 100 and it exploded for no reason. I feel like I don't know if it was you who I'm remembering that this happened to, but I remember reading somewhere that happened to someone, and I think they replaced, it was on the LCD, I think, if I'm remembering right, they replaced it with another one, it was fine. So something just must be, unless it's you I'm remembering, maybe there's just something that's easy to accidentally short out on those. I don't know. I used tantalums on my 100 screen and it was fine, but not. Why am I putting that away? We need to go up here. Prime Minister. Haven't been brave enough to plug it back in. PowerBook 100s are awful to deal with. I don't know what Sony did, but they put another thing they did with those, they put some varnish on the motherboard that as soon as you expose it to IPA to clean off all the cap goo, it just turns into a sticky mess. I pretty much gambled when I bought a dead one off eBay. Gambled that I would be lucky and it would just work after recapping, and thank God it did. But you can just get so unlucky with those things. I had a device blow up and start working. Yeah, that happens sometimes. You could have a shorted tantalum cap on like a auxiliary, I have a hard time saying that word. Auxiliary, you know what I mean, power rail that is only needed for some obscure function, and then the short prevents it from starting, but once the cap blows up and the short's gone, it works. So that can happen. What's going to be the best angle to install this? Probably this. Let me make sure I have the polarity right, I think. Yeah. Positively is this way. Oh, I see the marking on the board. It was a little hard to see here. Speaking of things blowing up and then working, I have a compact Desk Pro 286, which is of that era where you can have explodey tantalums. And the guy I got it from said it let out smoke when he tested it. And when I got it home and plugged it in, it worked. And it still works fine, and I've taken everything apart, and I can't find any sign of something that might have let off smoke, so I'm not sure to this day what that was. Just that it apparently smoked. No reefa filter caps in the power supply that I could find. No tantalums on the motherboard burnt. Like, I don't know. How long are you running that? What are you doing with that Asus gaming, that's not gaming laptop, Lamborghini laptop. I should probably find my 4716, and then I have a 22 microfarad. Uh-oh. Oh no, that one's fine. Here's the 22. I was worried because I saw a very large 100 microfarad tantalum and was like, oh god, that's not going to fit on solder pads, but we don't have, I forget. Oh, that's for my TIAC floppy drive I have to recap. I think that's still going to be a tight fit even on that drive. Displaying a live countdown. What GPU do those use? Or at least does yours use? None of these little imposter tantalums look bad. Again, it's that 1995, right on the edge of when the caps were bad and good. And I mean, these will eventually all be bad when they get older, but the like really bad plague that happened in the early 90s, late 80s seemingly was just about over by this point. Is this my cap? Yeah. Where'd it go? There it is. Yes, Mom? I am still streaming right now. I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for dinner. I'll be off stream in probably 20 or 30 minutes, and I'll make my own food. Okay. Yeah, let me see. What time is it now? Yeah, I'll be off stream in like 20 minutes. Uh-huh. Alright, so you heard it here first. 20 more minutes. See how much we can get done. This goes here. Because we're having people over for New Year's, and well, my mother is, and I have to make sure I have things in order before they get here. GeForce Go 7700. What year is that? That sounds like 06 if I had to guess, but I don't know, that's right on the line. Honestly, like none of those, that era of laptop GPU were that reliable. But I don't remember hearing specifically awful things about that one. Thanks, Luke. I will probably be live again tomorrow to hopefully work on the ultralight. I want to find that dang cap for my desoldering pump. 7400 is allegedly okay. Yeah, I don't know much about the NVIDIA stuff from like 06, 05. All my laptops from that time use ATI or integrated. These are the big ones, so the glue is probably going to be extra strong. So I am sort of rocking it back and forth. There we go. Many of the Bio SZs are okay, but the 8000 series are bad. I know that. Because that's the same family as the 8600 MGT, right? So that's just bump gate era. Alright, I need to find my 4716s. Where are they? Tamalon. There should be two of them. Electrolytic, electrolytic, electrolytic. Yeah, up here somewhere. $470, $220, $100, 4.7, $1,000. No, I ordered them. Oh, right. They're the one that came in the enormous package for some reason. I need scissors. They shipped these with an enormous bag of desiccant. Like, these aren't just snacks, this is a whole meal. And they are tiny. These must be like the latest, most advanced ones. I don't know. Yum indeed. Like, why do I need to even go up and have dinner in 20 minutes if I can just eat that? If I eat that, I'll like never have to eat again. Win-win. Oh my goodness, these caps are tiny. They don't even fit on the pads. They fit in between them. Maybe B case 4716s are new. And that's why there's all the fancy packaging. I have no idea. I think this is B case style. Or like second smallest. I declare this motherboard recapped. Alrighty, I will clean up the flux and stuff later. Let's get on that audio board and see how much we can get done. Okay. Well, you know what? I might just need the extra time to get my stuff in a row. I still have to shovel snow. I might just end stream now instead of getting started on a whole other thing. I think that would probably make the most sense. So, I will either do this tonight or tomorrow. And if I do it tomorrow, I will stream that. But I think I'm gonna call it here. So, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys later. Have a good one.